When you think of grilling, you often think of hot dogs, hamburgers, steak, ribs, kebabs, but did you know there is a whole other world of dishes you can make on your grill? In this chapter, I'm gonna teach you some delicious and unexpected ways to fire up your grill. First up, a grilled pizza, which is probably one of my favorite things to eat. And I'm also gonna show you how to make grilled breakfast tacos. Hopefully with these two recipes, you will see that the possibilities are endless when it comes to grilling, and you'll think outside the box the next time you utilize your grill. Let's get started. I'm so excited to make some grilled pizzas. So to get started, let's turn on our grill. We need it at about 500 to start. If you look at the pizza ovens, like how hot they get, they're up to like 800 degrees. And make sure you clean your grates. I don't want any little food bits on my grill. Okay, that looks great. I'm also not gonna oil my grates. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use to make sure the pizza doesn't stick, but I'm not gonna add any oil. So let this come up to temp. All right, let's start on our pizza dough. So I have about a 1 pound ball of pizza dough that I've left out at room temp for about an hour. You don't wanna take your pizza dough straight from the fridge and try and work with it. It'll be too cold and the elasticity will just like hold it in. So you'll try and push it out and it'll go, and you push it out and it'll go, so let it sit for a little bit. So what you wanna do, lightly flour a board. And this is store-bought or homemade pizza dough, whatever you prefer. So what I like to do, I don't use a rolling pin. I kind of just grab the pizza and start pinching the sides, the edges like this, and the weight of the pizza itself will start to droop down and stretch it for me. Okay. I'm gonna lightly flour this top. You want it roughly about 10 to 12 inches. I find cooking pizzas on a grill, it's a lot easier to keep their shape if they're slightly smaller. So if you're making like a ginormous pizza, it's gonna be a little wonky, it's gonna be hard to slide off. So instead, try and keep them on the smaller side. And if you have a bunch of people coming over, you can make many, many pizzas. My trick for getting the pizza onto the grill is I actually use a sheet pan that I flip upside down. I'm gonna use a mix of semolina flour, which is often used for making pasta. It's like little ball bearings. That's the only way I can kind of describe it. So I like to use this instead of cornmeal. I think the cornmeal is like crunchy on the bottom and I'm just not a fan of it. Semolina just dissipates into the dough. So a mix of semolina and AP flour, which is just all-purpose flour. Be pretty liberal with this. So this is our oil, per se. This is how we slide the pizza dough off onto the grill. It'll want to stick to your pizza peel or your sheet tray. So let's lift this up. Place it down. Again, feel free to reform it as needed. Pizza's on, you want to make sure, give it a little shake, see how it's not sticking. That's what I'm looking for. The worst is when you try and slide it off and it's like left side sticks and then you have an oblong. It's fine. If you have an oblong pizza, it'll still taste amazing. Okay, grill's up to 550. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sheet tray, I'm gonna basically put it in the middle and then I'm gonna pull it back quickly. So as I'm shaking it off, like that. Close the lid. Let it cook for 3 to 4 minutes. It'll puff up and then we're gonna take it off and I'm gonna show you how I like to assemble it. All right, let's open it up. Ooh, so it's puffed up. Let me show you the bottom. You see this? That's what I'm looking for. Use that same sheet tray with a pair of tongs, just slide it off. So this is how I like to build my pizza and why I do sort of that pre-bake. Flip it so this undercooked side is now face down, and then I will build the pizza on top of this crispy side. It just ensures a really crispy, chewy, crunchy pizza and never soggy. So I'm just gonna add some jarred tomato sauce, homemade pizza sauce, pasta sauce, whatever you prefer. And you don't need a lot. That's the other thing with pizza. You don't wanna over sauce it. It'll become soggy, it'll drip off. I use about a half a cup. So sauce down, now onto our cheese. I like to use a whole milk dry mozzarella, not a wet mozz. I find when I put it on top of the pizza, it leaches out a lot of liquid and causes a soggy pizza. Again, I don't want a soggy pizza. So just put a couple on top. You don't need to go crazy with the toppings. I think the more toppings, not always necessarily better. That looks good to me. Also, if the cheese is too close to the edge, it has a tendency to drip over and cause flare-ups, which we don't want as well. So cheese, sauce, let's do some pepper and a sprinkle of salt. I'm keeping this super simple. This is just a basic margarita pizza, but you could add pepperoni, you could add, if you're gonna add any sort of veggies, you want them pretty thinly sliced so they cook in like 5 minutes. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. This looks perfect. My grill is at 500. Just grab a spatula and we're gonna just put it right back on. Close the lid and cook for another 5 minutes or until the cheese has melted and the bottom has a nice crust. All right, my pizza, ooh, it is perfect. The cheese has melted. Let's take a peek at the bottom. Ooh, it's nice and crispy. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Just slide it right off. I'm gonna turn off my grill. All right, you guys, like look, it's not soggy. I can lift it up. Can you hear that? I like to finish with Parmesan cheese. You can add it while you're grilling. It'll just maybe get a little toasty. And then I'm gonna add my basil. I like to add my basil at the end because if you add it at the beginning, it just turns black, gets a little burnt. So add some whole basil leaves at the end. You could add chili flakes. You could add oregano if you want. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna eat this entire thing. So this serves like 2 to 3, maybe 4 people, or if you're like me, 1. This is literally a serving for 1. Some freshly cracked black pepper to finish it off. A little flaked sea salt, totally optional. You don't have to do this. And then, because I want to, I'm gonna do a drizzle of oil. I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna cut a piece. Do you hear that crunch? Not soggy. Nice and crispy. Oh, that cheese pull. Mmm. You get a little bit of that smokiness and that char from grilling it. You've learned one unexpected way to use your grill to cook pizza. I've got another one coming up, my grilled breakfast tacos. So I'm gonna start by preheating my grill, and I need it to about 350, and I'm only gonna turn on 2 burners. I'm doing this more so because I wanna turn my grill into a stovetop. I usually talk about turning my grill into an oven. This time I'm gonna turn it into a stovetop. So I'm gonna cook my eggs directly in this cast iron skillet. I'm gonna put my cast iron skillet right on the hot side so it comes up to heat with my grill. So I'm leaving this burner off, so after I cook my eggs in this cast iron skillet, I can move it over to the side and I can keep it warm while I continue to grill my avocado and my tortilla. So place that on the hot side, close it, let it come up to 350. While this comes up to heat, we're gonna come back here and we are going to make our eggs. So I'm using 8 eggs because this serves about 4 people. So it's like 2 eggs per person. We're doing a scrambled egg. I think when you're doing breakfast tacos, you think of scrambled eggs. I'm gonna season this with salt and pepper and then add a little cream. I'm usually not the biggest fan of adding milk or cream to my eggs. I don't think it needs it, but I wanna make sure that it has a good amount of moisture and it's just a little bit of richness. So I'm adding a splash of cream. We're gonna just whisk these up. And you wanna whisk it pretty thoroughly until you no longer see any yolk bits and you don't see any of the albumin, which is like the white part. My eggs look good to go. All right, my grill is up to heat, right around 350. Now, be very careful if you touch this cast iron skillet, you're gonna want to have a towel or an oven mitt. You don't wanna touch this handle, so be super, super careful. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of ghee, which is just clarified butter with the milk solids removed. It has a real high smoke point, so you get that great butter flavor, but you don't have to worry about it burning. And you can find this at the store. You can technically use butter. I would cut it with a little neutral oil just to kind of raise that smoke point so it doesn't burn on you. Okay, so I'm gonna swirl it around my pan. Again, be super careful. So my skillet's ready to go. Let's pour in our eggs. When cooking eggs, you always want to make sure your skillet's nice and hot. It'll prevent it from sticking. It'll start to set around the edges. And as it sets, I take a silicone spatula, which is heat safe, and I just push it forward. So I kind of push it into the middle and go around. The edges will cook faster than the center. Push it inward and kind of fold it over itself. I just move the cooked part into the middle, and then when it's almost done, like still a little wet on top, I'll remove it and just keep it warm because it will continue to cook in the skillet. And this should take anywhere from 4 to 5 to 7 minutes. It really depends on how hot your grill is. All right, these look perfect. They're still a little wet. Again, they'll continue to cook. So I'm gonna move it to my burner that is off just to keep it warm. What I'm gonna do is bump up the heat back up on this side, and I'm gonna oil my grates. I didn't need to do it before because I was using the cast iron skillet. Now I'm gonna cook my avocados and my tortillas directly on the grate so I don't want them to stick. So grab a clean dish towel, grab some tongs, and then you're gonna use a high smoke point neutral oil such as grapeseed. Just dip it in and then oil your grates on the hot side because we're just gonna cook on this side. Let's work on our avocados. If you never knew you could grill an avocado, you can basically grill anything except for soup. Never grilled soup because like I'm not crazy. But 2 avocados, the nice thing about grilling avocados is if they're a little underripe, they feel a little firm, putting them on the grill actually softens them up and turns them a bright green color. So you can get away with using an underripe avocado for this. And I just push my knife down and I kind of rock it around the pit. Let's cut it lengthwise. Twist. Ooh, she's a beaut. This is gorgeous. This is what I'm looking for. Bright green. We're gonna remove the pit. So you just wanna take the heel of your knife, pop it in the seed very carefully, and then you just twist it until it comes out. Don't remove this with your hand. I like to put it down on like a countertop or the cutting board and just pop it off. All right, let's add our avocados. Gorgeous. Directly to the grates. So we're gonna put them cut side down. Hear that little sizzle? And then we're gonna cook them for 3 to 4 minutes. I just wanna get some of that smokiness and some of that char. So I turned my burners up to about medium high. Okay, my avocados have been grilling for a couple minutes. Let's take a peek. Not sticking. See how they turn bright green around the edges? Gorgeous. Set these aside. And then let's add 4. And tortillas are like bread. They go real quick. So literally pop them on, wait a minute or 2, and then flip them. We're just looking to heat them through, get a little bit of char on them, but not get them crispy. I still want these to be soft tacos. So make sure your burners are still pretty high because we just want to get a little toast on it. Good. Perfect. Great. Another minute or 2, and I'll pop these off. I'm gonna remove my eggs. Again, be super careful. Do not grab that handle. So let's take these tortillas off. All right, so I wanna take one of our avocados. We're gonna peel away the skin. Look how bright green that is. Isn't that crazy? That's from the heat. Peel away the skin. Reveal that beautiful avocado. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm just gonna slice up one for the time being. Slice it into thin-ish pieces. It's a little soft, so be careful. It might want to stick on you. Totally fine. Pretty avocado. So I have everything ready to go. Let's build 2 tacos. So I kind of like to fold them up like this. I'm gonna add a few slices of avocado. You can see the grill marks. It adds a subtle smokiness. A scoop or so of the scrambled eggs. Just enough to fill the taco. So avocado, eggs. Next, I'm gonna add a sprinkle of cheese. I'm using Monterey Jack cheese, but you could use, honestly, cheddar, Swiss, whatever cheese you prefer. Some radish. You could add black beans to this. A little bit of salsa, some cilantro, a call it a day, right? Serve it with some lime to squeeze over. How good do those look? My grilled breakfast tacos, where I not only grilled the tortilla, I grilled the avocado and I grilled the eggs. In this chapter, I showed you 2 unexpected ways to use your grill. One, I turned into a pizza oven to make a grilled pizza, and I also showed you how to use your grill as a cooktop by making grilled breakfast tacos. I hope you see there's almost nothing you can't make on your grill.